sees Park for Crosby to the goal. He scores!
High slot, shadowed by Strome. Crosby waiting, peeling, cornering. What a move around Strome. Backhander scores! Sidney Crosby! An unbelievable. Got the matchup they wanted. Rangers having trouble changing here. McDavid, beautiful move. In on the
Against Morgan Riley. McDavid, what a move! What a play! What a goal! Connor McDavid!
Sidney Crosby, drafted first overall back in 2005, claimed to be the next great one, the next Wayne Gretzky. A decade later, Connor McDavid, also drafted first overall by the Edmonton Oilers, a generational talent. On today's episode, Joe and I put them head-to-head and debate which one's the better hockey player. Welcome to another episode of the J&J Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny, a.k.a. Jay Froner, along with my co-host, the always wonderful Mr. Joe Montecalvo. How you doing tonight, sir?
As The Rock would always say, it doesn't matter how I'm doing, Johnny. You want to know why? Because the Oilers absolutely suck. They suck. We thought they were back, but they suck. But you know who doesn't suck? Connor McDavid. And he's better than Sidney Crosby, Johnny.
Joe. Most of the time, I mean, we agree on things, but I think we're going to be going head-to-head. We'll be clashing heads today because Sidney Crosby is by far, the better hockey player overall.
You're going to use your Stanley Cup argument, aren't you?
And you're going to be using the points argument, aren't you?
Well, he's the most evolved player we've ever seen.
He only stands out from the rest is because of his speed. Let's be honest. I mean, skill-wise,
his vision, his awareness, his timing on the ice, his pursuit of the puck. He goes to the dirty areas.
Yeah, but except everything except being a captain, which he does have the C on his jersey.
Come on.
And clearly he can't lead the Edmonton Oilers to a Stanley Cup. And I know he hasn't. I mean, listen, obviously you can't compare them exactly because the body of work that Crosby has, McDavid doesn't have. But nonetheless, I mean, he's still overall Sidney Crosby is still a better player. I mean, I don't know if you want to pull up some stats to get the ball rolling. So I could just
get the ball rolling with what, the regular season stats? We'll compare the first 8 NHL seasons because, Crosby's played twice as long as McDavid. So obviously he's going to beat him in every statistical category. But through the first 8 years, we know Crosby was very injury-riddled at the start of his career. McDavid had 99 more games played through his first 8 seasons. But, you look at the points per game are pretty similar. But, McDavid, when you look at it, beats him at Art Ross, the Hart. They both won the Rocket once through their first 8 years.
Yeah, but you're missing one stat. The most important one. When he won the Stanley Cup back in 2009. And he also went to the finals the year before.
Well, here we go. These are their playoff statistics.
Okay.
Obviously, Crosby, he's been to the playoffs 16 times out of this is his 18th year, so he's missed twice.
Come on. I just have to go with that stat. That's just, and I don't want you to.
But hockey's also a team game.
Yeah.
So Crosby's had goaltending in his career. He's had a good defense in his career. He's had a very good sporting cast in his career.
Okay, Evgeny Malkin. He has Evgeny Malkin, and Crosby. McDavid has Draisaitl. If anything, Draisaitl is probably better than Malkin. And if McDavid, they're probably better. They're probably better overall points wise. But guess what? Together, they can't get the job done. Crosby. First of all, yes, he was the youngest captain. Okay, before McDavid, he was the youngest captain in the NHL. Also, he was the youngest to win the Art Ross. Yes, I know McDavid broke those records most recently, but when it comes down to it, what does everyone look at? It's Stanley Cups. And yes, at the beginning of his career, McDavid didn't have, like you said, the best supporting cast around him. But lately, he has had.
You can also, but he hasn't had any goaltending. Last year in the playoffs, the Oilers played 12 playoff games, and Stuart Skinner was pulled in 4 of them. The year before that, when they went to the Western Conference Final against Colorado, there was 2 games where they scored 6 goals and lost. Okay. If you're scoring 6 goals on a playoff game, you should win that 100% of the time.
Okay, but
his playoff stats aren't bad either. Yes, 75 points in 49 games.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll go back. Okay, yeah, goaltending. Okay, 2009. Yes, Marc-Andre Fleury was mental. He was fucking fantastic. I agree. And okay, when you want back-to-back cups, I didn't even mention the back-to-back cup 2016, 2017.
Yeah, I know.
Who do they have in nets? Matt Murray. Where the fuck is Matt Murray now?
He was playing. Yeah, now he's.
Yeah, where is he now?
He was good.
Where is he now?
Then.
They made him look good. They made him look good. You know what I mean? Because Crosby was leading that team. That's why.
Well, the Oilers' defense is absolutely atrocious. You know that. Everyone knows that. It's been like that since I think Rolison left.
Yeah, I mean,
it's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, going back to those back-to-back Stanley Cups. I mean, guess who else was on that team? Phil Kessel, who Mr. Hot Dog himself, who everyone, the most laziest player. Everyone would say, all the players would say that, right, about him.
And he still scored
train, and he's still, yeah, exactly. Because you know why? You know what makes
motivates motherfucker.
Apparently, he wouldn't want he wouldn't play unless there was Coke in his water bottle.
There you go.
But the drink Coke, by the way, Coca-Cola. Let me clarify that.
Oh, that's Coke. My mind's in the gutter.
But listen. I said this before in other episodes. Yes, okay. I mean, at the end of the day, McDavid will probably have more points. You know, I mean, when it comes down to the tail end of his career, for sure. I'm not debating that. I'm talking about overall player who does it on the ice, two-way player. I don't think McDavid is really a two-way player. You can say he's not.
That was a knock on him more early on in his career, but he's evolving more. He's a good defensive player. Also, he's responsible defensively. He's also on the penalty kill now.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But I don't know. I just don't see him going down the court. Look, when they went to during the playoffs, yes, I see him play hard. I won't lie. Like he played harder, but I mean,
he's averaging like 2 points per game the last couple of years in the playoffs. So what else do you want him to do? Like he can't keep the puck out of the net.
I want him to fucking win.
Okay. Yeah,
it's not gonna happen.
I want him to win too.
Look, even if let's say McDavid wins a cup. Okay, the only time I would say McDavid is maybe close to Crosby is if he wins 2. I won't even make him have to win 3. If he wins 2, which is not looking like it, it's not looking like it.
With the Oilers, no, it's not looking good.
No, okay, like if you put Crosby on that Oilers team right now, I promise you they win a cup in 2 years.
I promise you, there's no chance in hell. Even Crosby in his prime is not fixing this team. They're so bad defensively. The coaching change did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, they lost. I mean, 2 in a row recently. He's 1-2, but I mean, okay, look, I'll ask a question. If you're both in their primes. I mean, Connor McDavid is in his prime now, but let's say Crosby back in his prime. Yeah. If you're starting a franchise, I'm not talking about fantasy or anything. I'm starting a franchise, like you do on NHL 24. You're the GM. Who are you picking? Real life, not video games. Real life.
I would still take Connor McDavid.
No, you wouldn't. Stop fucking.
Yes, I would. He got 153 points last year. He's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay.
He's the most skilled player in the game. He's got speed, IQ, vision, everything.
Okay, look.
He's everything. He's everything you want in a hockey player.
No. There's that attitude. There's that charisma that comes with being.
He wants to win, Johnny. Come on.
I'm not doubting he does, but not that bad. Not badly enough.
Disagree. Hard disagree.
Listen,
this is his 9th year. Okay, we were talking about most recent players. Ovechkin it was his 13th year when Ovechkin finally won. Stamkos won in his 12th year. Crosby also had a bit of a drought there. I think 7 years or 8 years between?
Yeah, 6. Yeah, 7.
6, 7, something like that. So,
but he would still make the playoffs, and he would still go far. It wouldn't they probably did get bounced out first round, but he was always in the playoffs.
Yeah,
how hard that is to do. You know how hard it is to do. Yeah, 15, 16 seasons straight since after his rookie year. That's not always. You know what I mean? Yes, I understand. The players around them matter, but it's the voice in that locker room, and that's why Sidney Crosby is the perfect athlete. I'll say that across the board of all sports. Like you never see him on the news for negativity or getting caught drunk driving, all these other things that happen to all these players. He's just always was a straight arrow. I mean, he's just always he wants to win. He's just a winner.
Yes, he is. When you think of Crosby, you think of Stanley Cups, you think of his Olympic gold medals, you think of the ultimate leader, a winner.
And you know who else?
I agree.
You know who else trains with Crosby? McKinnon. And guess what happened to McKinnon? Won a cup.
Well, the Avalanche
he followed in Crosby.
Yeah,
okay, but he also followed in Sidney Crosby's footsteps. They were always training the offseason. Yeah. So maybe McDavid needs to take some lessons from Crosby is what I'm getting at.
Well, when McDavid was drafted, the Oilers missed the playoffs for 10 straight years. Since he's been his 8 years so far, they've made the playoffs 6 times. They've haven't advanced past the first round only once, and that was the North Division year where he lost to Winnipeg in the first round. The last couple of years, McDavid's had his best teams for sure. But, I mean, you look at early on in his career, he had no chance. The second year, he made Lucic score 23 goals. He was playing also on a line with Patrick Maroon, who scored 27 goals that year. I don't think he ever had more than 17 after that in his career. He also played with Alex Chason one year and made him score 22 goals. He hadn't gotten like more than 12 before that.
The same goes for Crosby. You know what I mean? So you could, like I said, you could pull up all these stats.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'll stick with Crosby until I see more from McDavid. Until I see a winning attitude, I'm gonna stick with Crosby.
I also talked to you about the all-time point leaders. Well, because I know we touched on it very briefly earlier. So, I mean, right now, the way it's Crosby's 15th all-time with 1,524 points. When you just look at it, I mean, Crosby, he probably still has 3-4 more years left in the league, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's still healthy.
He's gonna end up finishing probably in the top maybe 3 all-time. He can get another like 300 points.
Well, look, he like you said, he's 15th. I mean, everyone ahead of him is they're retired, right? So I think he could probably, fall maybe 5th. I mean, look, no one's beating Wayne Gretzky. I mean, let's be honest, no one's grabbing that first spot. But yeah, I think at the end of his career, he definitely could. Now, I think, look, I will say this about McDavid. If anyone could catch Gretzky, it probably is him, which is ridiculous to even think, right?
He won't get Gretzky in points. But I think he has a realistic chance to get 2,000 points and be second all time. He's gonna have over 900 by the time this season's over, and he's only turning 27 in January. So if he plays till he's 40, that's another 13, 14 seasons.
Let's say hypothetically, okay. Let's say he does beat Wayne Gretzky's record points wise.
2,800.
Let's just say. But he doesn't win a cup. Is he the greatest of all time? Just because he beats
Gretzky in points in today's game, yeah.
Yeah, I but he doesn't win a cup. I'm pretty sure. Look. If McDavid was right in front of us right now, and you ask him, Connor, if you could give up all your trophies for one Stanley Cup, 100%.
Of course,
exactly. Because these players,
I agree.
These individual awards, it matters. It matters to them, to a certain point. But everyone wants to win the cup. That's what it is, and I'm sure he'll give up everything for that. And until I see more from him, I'm not saying it's impossible, but right now, I still say, and even though we went through the first 8 seasons, just to compare them, a little bit more fairly, he blows them out of the stratosphere for trophies. McDavid does to Crosby, but that one Stanley Cup, especially winning at such a young age, at 21 years old, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm not going to disagree there, and the trump card in all this is going to be the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
McDavid has to get a Stanley Cup and probably multiple Stanley Cups.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I won't even make him. I won't even ask him to get 3, maybe 2, and I'll put him in the conversation. Right now, I don't put him in the conversation with Crosby. To me, look, being
it depends. It depends, like exactly what you want to debate here. Is it like
who's the better? Who's better? And it's Crosby right now. Like overall, I still think even after everything you said. Overall, other than skating, okay, Crosby is still better. Like I'll still take him. Like you mentioned hockey IQ. You think Crosby? Wait, doesn't
I know. But I'm saying at the speed McDavid plays at, he's just we've never seen anything like it. I've been watching hockey. The same with you. We're the same age. What, about 25 years now?
Yeah.
Like we never saw Gretzky. We saw Lemieux at the end of his career, so he was still a great player, but he wasn't in his prime. So I mean, as long as I've been watching hockey, there's been no one better skill wise.
Yeah, look, I could be on the Edmonton Oilers. I passed the puck to McDavid, and I could get a couple assists throughout the year. You know, I mean, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. But I'll say something that I saw. I was PK Subban actually that said this. Because they were talking about Connor Bedard, and they were saying comparing him to Connor McDavid, and I'll say this to PK said this, that McDavid, you gotta learn how to play with him because he's so fast. He's just
absolutely
he's so unique. Whereas Bedard, he'll learn how to play with you. Like he'll make you better. But McDavid, it's like you can't catch up with me, then get off my fucking line. You know what I mean? Which is why Draisaitl is the only one that could really play with him so far. That's why, Connor Brown, you know what I mean? Whereas Crosby, if he was on that line, trust me, he'll make the teammates, around them better. Yeah, you mentioned those people that made him score goals, like Chase on, but what were they, tap-ins? You know what I mean?
Well, that's why Peter Chiarelli is no longer in the league right now, because he thought that Lucic could play with McDavid, that Patrick Maroon could play with McDavid,
it's hard.
that Chase could play with McDavid. Yeah, none of these guys can skate with him.
No, it's hard. It's hard. That's why. But I'm saying this right now as a negative, because he needs to learn how to play with other people. He can't, be in his own league of his own. And
if you're getting 150 points a year, I mean, if 120 points is a bad year for you, then.
And that's why Edmonton always loses, because they think they're gonna fucking outscore the other team 6-5 every game. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
This year.
Yeah, exactly. It's catching up to them.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with McDavid now, because Draisaitl has 2 more years. He has 1 year after this, and McDavid's a free agent in 3 years.
Yeah.
The Oilers are going to have to do everything they can to sign him. My worst fear as an Oilers fan is he goes somewhere else and wins 3-4 cups.
That's exactly what's going to happen. No, honestly, no, I don't know. I don't know who would leave first. It would be Draisaitl or McDavid, but.
Well, Draisaitl's contract expires first.
Yeah, so. I know. I imagine he does leave. I mean, what's gonna happen to McDavid? I mean, like we just finished discussing, he can't play with anyone. You know what I mean? Maybe Nuge, maybe Ryan Nugent-Hopkins could carry the load. But listen,
but he didn't do it before. I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, we could debate this till we're blue in the face. I mean, we all have our own opinions, and they're always they're always respected. But I mean, to me, Sidney Crosby by far is the better hockey player. I'll never change my I'm not even a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. I'm just a Crosby fan, because I appreciate the body of work he put together throughout the years, and everything is done. Even winning Olympic gold and stuff. The list goes on, right? But to me, Sidney Crosby, no chance. McDavid, no chance. Not right now.
I'll say in 20 years, when we're in our 50s, Johnny, we're looking back, we'll say that Crosby and McDavid are probably 2 of the 5 best players of all time.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure, the older generation is going to be like Crosby, McDavid, Wayne Gretzky, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, every generation has, new stars, and it's fun to watch. And it's fun to debate, right? It's fun talking points. But, so, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm going to be going with Sidney Crosby, my guy, and Joe obviously going to be going with McDavid. Before we wrap up, I just want to know your guys' opinion in the comments. Who do you think is better, Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby? Let us know. We'll take a poll. You have any last words, Joe, before we end this?
We'll revisit this in a couple of years when McDavid has his cup. And I'll have more ammo for this conversation.
Even with 1 cup, I still I need him to be consistent throughout. I need to consistently make the playoffs.
Him winning a cup in Edmonton's like winning 2 cups.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that. So thanks everybody for watching. Until next time, have yourself a good night.